Hi, I'm Scott Swanson.
And I'm Judy Powell.
This is BC at Work.
Tonight, recreational vehicles in the making, and Charlie tackles the big issue of 1988. BC at Work, the fascinating stories showcasing the union's working people and the companies that employ them. This week from the Okanagan, here's Scott and Judy.
You know, Scott, the Okanagan is more than just beaches and peaches.
You're right, Judy.
Take, for example, Casabello Wines.
They've gained a reputation throughout British Columbia for producing some of the finest quality wines.
And they're located right here in Penticton.
The grape and wine industry is now a vital part of the economy of the Okanagan, employing thousands of workers and pumping millions of dollars annually into the BC economy. But this has not always been the case.
In the mid-1960s, the Okanagan was declared a depressed area, and a great deal of money was poured into Okanagan to create new industries. And one of these industries was the grape and wine industry.
Casabello Wines grew during this period of economic expansion. As the financial environment improved, the workers at Casabello recognized the value of organizing themselves.
In 1977, we felt that we would be better off as a unit if we organized, and we proceeded to do that. That went very smoothly.
The employee relations in Casabello Wines is very, very good. We've had ever had any problems, and it's a good working relationship.
Today, both management and labor are working together to secure for Casabello Wines a fair market for their product and continued employment stability in the Okanagan. No one wants a return to the regional unemployment of the mid-60s and the demands that puts on local, provincial, and federal governments. The future of the grape and wine industry in British Columbia and the many subsidiary companies which supply this industry is at best uncertain.
The future depends on what really happens in free trade. As far as we can see, there is it's our job, and I guess it's our challenge, to be able to market BC wine under the new arrangements. But there's also an opportunity perhaps to import high quality wines from around the world and bottle them in BC at the winery here.
When free trade comes in, the first thing to be affected will be the grapes. Right now we pay about twice the price for Okanagan grapes as we would on the open market around the world. So we can see approximately two-thirds of the grapes in the Okanagan as being uncompetitive once the tariffs are removed.
Everyone at Casabello Wines, workers and management, is concerned about the U.S.-Canada Trade Pact. Their concern is shared by many in the grape and wine industry. The focus of this concern is the vagueness of what this pact would mean to their industry and their company. There's a great deal at stake, but what rewards justify the risk?
I feel very uncomfortable because it's very unknown. There's very few real facts. So we're in for some very big changes. We're certainly going to have to be very adaptable to change.
Casabello, in my view, would say would be looking forward to the challenges of the future, and I'm positive to think that we'll measure up to the future and survive without a question.
We're BC workers at Casabello Wines, and proud of it!
You're still in bed when the first trucks start rolling. Before this day is through, each man will lift 15,000 pounds of garbage and walk miles of back alley. This job is tough and it's dirty. It takes a special kind of man to work this hard for you and your community, a garbage man. It's his neighborhood too. They can't rush it or cut corners because a safe, clean city is something to be proud of. And you can't put a price tag on that. QP Garbage Men, a winning team that takes pride in a job well done.
Lucy knows everything has to be right because we want our visitors to return.
Our work is important to all British Columbians.
Nick Warhog, president of Local 40, the hotel and restaurant workers. 10,000 men and women who make BC a great place to visit and a wonderful place to live.
We would like to make a good impression on our guests, and we are proud of the high standards of excellence we have set.
Local 40, we serve the need of our members and the province. We make the good times better in BC.
And now, from the wrinkled, unabridged pages of his historical logbooks, BC at Work's resident storyteller, Clay Perry.
1886. Vancouver is just a-borning. Hastings Mills had magnificent timber leases right along Tidewater for 2 bits an acre. And since loggers were expected to work at that time, as one mill owner said, from sunup to sundown for a chaw of chewing tobacco and a can of beans, Hastings Mill expected to turn a tidy profit. But a fly appeared in the ointment. Early that year, the Knights of Labor organized a strike among the loggers for higher pay. What was worse is that when R.H. Alexander, the superintendent of the mill, announced his plans to be Vancouver's first mayor, the loggers got together and said to themselves, "Gee whiz, the guy is already superintendent and he's police magistrate. Now he wants to be mayor. Too much." So they went to a guy named Malcolm McLean and they urged him to run. Malcolm said, "Gee, I don't have enough money to run for political office." So they said, "Well, we'll pass the hat." And they passed the hat and Malcolm ran and he won. Well, that victory coming from a labor organization that had as one slogan, "All land for the settlers, not another acre for the railroads or the speculators," is kind of ominous. That's Perry's log.
Every summer, over 1,000 kids come to the city of Vernon.
That's right, Scott, and they're here for one reason.
Are there any questions?
No, sir!
Can't hear you. Are there any questions?
No, sir!
As detailed, dismissed!
Anyone who has passed through Vernon has seen the military installation, which has been a fixture in the city for most of the 20th century. But few realize the importance of Vernon Army Cadet Camp in the local economy.
Yes, at one time it housed over 5,000 troops during World War II. It was the infantry training center for Western Canada.
We asked Colonel Clark how many cadets he expected this summer and where they were from.
1,400 cadets will train at Vernon during the summer months, and they come from British Columbia, across the Prairie provinces, and from the Yukon and the Northwest Territories. And also we have 11 United States Marine cadets on an exchange program with us from the state of Washington.
Anything not locked up will be confiscated by us. Remember, you get paid here. You lose anything gets stolen, you pay for it.
This is a community supervised by regular officers and civilians, yet run by senior cadets who've had several years of training in this or a similar camp.
Let's go, full caps on, t-shirts, shorts, runner. Remember, we're forming our break.
From the moment a cadet arrives at camp, he or she is given duties and is held accountable. At first, it may be as simple as keeping their kit in order, but from there, the responsibility grows. As they gain seniority, cadets are not only responsible for themselves, but for the rest of their platoon. The most senior cadets are then held accountable to the officers. With more experience comes more responsibility.
First of all, I'd like to say it's not a farm team for the Canadian Armed Forces. Never has been, nor never will be. It just reflects what we do contribute to society. There are, by nature, because a youngster knows what military life is all about when he's 17 or 18, and if he happened to like it, in all probability he will join. Think, hey, I can hack that.
Spending the summer at Vernon invariably includes learning military skills. For example, rifle training begins with safety and only then proceeds to the handling, the care, and actual firing of the weapon. But it also teaches attention to detail, coordination, and self-confidence. The reason each person has for coming here is different. What do you like about Vernon?
Discipline.
The discipline. Are you going to plan on coming back next year?
Sure do.
And you, how old are you?
I'm 15.
And you're from?
Kamloops.
From Kamloops, just locally here then?
Yeah.
What do you like about Vernon?
I like the sports that we have once a week.
You interested in coming back next year?
Yes.
It's a nice surrounding, it's got nice instructors, and the whole thing is just, it's really nice, it's really great.
Well, I like how we get to do things like training on the rifles, PT, which is physical training, and the mess hall.
And the mess hall, is the food good?
Yes.
Contrary to popular belief about Army food not being good, do you think it's good, eh?
Yes, ma'am.
What about your hair? Do you like having your hair cut that short?
Yes, ma'am.
There's not too many females here. How do you feel about being a woman of Vernon?
Privileged.
Do they let you do special things here?
No.
No? Don't let you get away with anything?
No.
What's the best thing you think cadets learn from coming to Vernon?
Self-discipline, motivation. I think, yeah, they learn about themselves more than anything.
The camp is not only important to the military and the cadets, it's also a vibrant part of Vernon. We asked the public relations officer about the civilian instructors.
A lot of the instructors at the camp are teachers because they can get away in the summer and commit the 8 weeks or 9 weeks that it takes to come to camp, set up their particular areas, spend the summer with the kids, and then go back home and start teaching again in September.
How does the community view the Army base, the Army camp out here?
Camp's been part of Vernon for so long that it's part of the furniture almost. Summer comes, the cadets show up, go through the training, the cadets go home in the winter, and it's part of the seasonal cycle of Vernon. The cadets are specifically introduced to the community, to the fact that the community doesn't distinguish between individuals in the cadets, and they see the cadets as a cadet and the camp as a whole, so that anything that any individual cadet does reflects on the entire camp. And that's pressed home to the kids all the time too, that they are ambassadors for the whole camp every time they go downtown.
In fact, every time the cadets do go downtown, they're spending money in Vernon. That's only a tiny portion of the financial impact the camp has on the economy of the city. Most of the support service personnel are employed in the mess hall. The cooks, food service staff, and dishwashers live in the surrounding area. And supplies for in the neighborhood of 84,000 meals are purchased locally.
It produces into the local economy about $6 million up front, and that doesn't count the regular force or the pay or the such things as fuel and the maintenance of these buildings, which is an ongoing thing.
Camp life is not all arduous training. There is fun, and there's also embarrassment. As we wandered through the mess hall, the cadets' youthful exuberance and camaraderie were evident. While they are mentally and physically tested on the rifle range and confidence course, it's here that the cadets reveal the fellowship and team spirit they will look back upon fondly in later years. By the time the cadets leave Vernon at the end of the summer, they have added about $10 million to the economy, making it one of the largest industries for the city of Vernon.
Jerry Haydar, Local 1370. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
If you're shopping for a home, this is not the place to start.
A Royal Bank report on pre-arranged mortgages.
It's hard to know what you can buy until you know how much you can borrow. That's where the Royal's pre-arranged mortgage can help. You'll know exactly how much you can borrow and what your monthly payments will be. You'll know what price range to look at. And the Royal will guarantee the interest rate for 60 days. It's like having the cash before you start house hunting.
Royal Bank pre-arranged mortgages.
There's no better way to spend a vacation than traveling across the country in an RV. In fact, while we're working, it was the best way to travel. While we were in the Okanagan, we decided to stop at the plant that made our vehicle. At Okanagan Manufacturing in Penticton, over 100 artisans work carefully to produce some of the highest quality recreational vehicles in Canada. Handcrafted detail work goes into each vehicle that comes off the line, and the company prides itself on its high standards and workmanship. Okanagan President Ivan McClelland is the company's guiding force. We talked from the luxury of one of the newly assembled fifth wheels.
We've been here through some good times and some times that weren't so good. I'm talking about the early 80s when interest rates went so high and there was a lot of unemployment in British Columbia, and we all know about the recession that we've been through. And so we've been through all of that, and it's been a 20-year stretch now since we started.
A leading concern of Okanagan is their commitment to the economy of Penticton and British Columbia. Almost all of the raw materials are locally made or manufactured.
Our cabinetry is built right here in the factory. Our fiberglass work is done in the factory. We have our seats done locally, and a lot of the stuff, as much as possible, we buy the product in Penticton. Most of our lumber comes from British Columbia, right in the interior. Our paneling comes from Vancouver, from a paneling mill, but all our core and all the plywood, all the framing that we have, all comes from the interior of British Columbia.
What is this area right behind us here?
This area is called the mill shop, and in this area, all we do is cut wood. We cut it to size. The fellows know exactly what size pieces are needed for the cabinetry. It's cut up, it's put into bundles, and then it moves up to the framing shop where we put together our cabinets, our wardrobes, our sideboards, ready for the assembly line.
We're at the beginning of the line here. What would happen?
Well, we would start with the frame, then we put on the floor, then they put the linoleum or the carpet down, then they start putting into place all the cabinetry. Now the cabinetry is put into place first, then the sidewalls are put on, then the roof, then the back. It's the opposite to a house where you build a house with the outside frame, then you put your furniture in. We put our furniture in first, then we put our walls and our ceilings and our backs on.
Bob took me on a tour of a partially completed fifth wheel. The quality of workmanship and the pride people took in their work was evident.
That would be a heat duct down there. This will be another wardrobe. These people will be living in this unit for a long time. Refrigerator here. This is a laminating department. This is the department where we put our walls together, our floors together, and our ceilings together. The finished product is we end up with what we call a sandwich panel construction. And it's exactly what it says it is. We start off with styrofoam, and on one side of the styrofoam, the 1-inch block styrofoam, we have 4mm paneling. On the other side, well, we have a sheet of what we call foam core, which is extra insulation, and then the outside is aluminum. Now, the reason we're using that particular process is it's a new technology in the RV industry. It's lighter weight by probably 15% lighter than conventional construction. It's twice as strong, and it's better insulated.
I had always assumed these vehicles were put together by machines, but much to my surprise, all of the components are constructed by hand, ensuring quality standards are met. From the ever-popular RVs to the new van motorhome, which is quickly gaining popularity, all of the company's products passed rigorous quality control measures along the way.
So this one will be going into Seattle next week.
And this is the RV line, of course.
Yeah, on this particular line we build our fifth wheels, and we build our motorhomes, and we will be building our travel trailers as well.
It was evident after a brief tour of the factory floor that women make up a high proportion of Okanagan's workforce.
We have quite a lot of women doing different jobs. Our chief electrician is a woman, maybe in a plumbing area, the same job areas that the men are working as well.
We feel very strongly that everybody in our plant, and we have over 100 employees, has got to feel good about quality. We talk about it all of the time, and one of the ways we get it is that people are interested in what they're doing. They realize the importance of it, and they realize that when you buy this piece, or someone buys it for in the neighborhood of $30,000, that is a major, major purchase. And our guys, no matter whether it's the fellow doing the fiberglass or the fellow that's working on the laminator or whoever's putting in the lights here, realize that it's got to be right on.
We have a prototype department, but we also listen to many of the comments from the people working in the factory. They're working with them all the time. They're very aware of an easier way of doing things, and also maybe a nicer way of doing things. So we have lots of input from our prototype department and our factory people as well.
Well, we believe here at Okanagan that you are not going to get that type of product unless the people that are working for you care. So we feel strongly about our employees, and we like to think that we have a good place to work here, and the employees that are doing this work are very, very important to us.
Okanagan Manufacturing, an important part of the local economy. a company that puts employees and quality first.
First I heard of free trades was the time them Bulronis invite Ronnie Reagan and his nanny up to Quebec City for a slummet conference.
Stay tuned. Charlie Farquharson and his barnyard analysis coming up.
Hi, I'm Janet, Local 338. Stay tuned for more BC at Work.
We see it in their eyes, they'll always say and do. We'll always be a special gift they will keep their whole life through.
We guide them on their way, sharing what we know. We help to shape their future dreams. We watch them as they grow, caring each and every day. Together we help them on their way, sharing so much they need to know. Teaching is helping children grow.
We're helping children grow.
There's a legend around the Okanagan about this guy, Ogopogo.
Judy, that has nothing to do with Charlie Farquharson.
I know, Scott, but here he is.
I never heard such a caterwauling on all sides as there's been about this here free trade, both from your government and your opposite position. Funny thing, I always thought we had free trade till Bulroni started flapping his chin about it. Well, we had 80% free trade. If my boy Orville ever got 80% in school, he'd have granulated long ago. But Bryony never mentioned it once when he was stumping us back in '84. They say now he never had no mandate, but who wants one when he's got that nice Yugoslavian girl Millie? First I heard of free trades was the time them Bulronis invite Ronnie Reagan and his nanny up to Quebec City for a slummet confluence. And when Ronnie went back home, that's when we stopped having free trade. First they hit us in the softwood of our lumber regions. Then they give us the shakes, and after that the shingles. And now it's your grape growers again your winos. And thereafter our fish processors on both coasts too, telling us we can catch them but we can't skin them. That means we'll be back to being what our historians always said we was, hooers of wood with our drawers full of water. You'd think more trade with them Yanks would be a good thing. For if it worked, then maybe we could try it out between the provinces of this country. When that British Prime Mistress Marg Snatcher come to Toronto for that last economical summit, she said free trade was what they had in their European Common Markup. But that's just a trade bloc. And Ronnie Reagan's North American Accord with us and Mexico is just another trade bloc. Is that what we can expect in our futures? Europe and America putting the blocks to each other?
That's it for this week.
You know, Scott, I'm really sorry to be leaving the Okanagan.
So am I, Judy. But next week we'll be coming to you from the Kootenays.
Join us then.
See you next week.